So today we're going to be talking a little bit about relationship goals. So we'll get into a little bit, but first off, what is the funniest fight you think we've ever had?
I don't find fights very funny at all.
You mean the other night when we were going at it, it wasn't funny?
No, going at it.
Well, not in a bad way.
Is there a good way of going at it? We had gone to
Where are you going with this?
a lounge, and we went with my older sister and some other people that got us into VIP. We're just going to have fun, to just hang out together. We were in Fort Lauderdale, at this
West
specific.
Palm Beach.
Was it?
Yeah, I think I know where you're going.
Okay. I was sitting there and I was talking to my sister, and all of a sudden I see this one over there in a crowd of girls, and he has his like arms out and he's flexing, and these girls are like touching him. I got up so quick and I went over to him and I grabbed him in the middle of these girls. I was like, what are you doing? They were taking pictures with him and everything. I was like, this is crazy. And he's like, oh, they're at a bachelorette party and I'm one of the things on their list. On the list that they wanted to take pictures with me and me to be doing things. I was like, okay, you're about to get hurt. I was like, you need to go sit down. You really, this is all done with. And I know I said we were dating, but we were actually married now that I think about it. It was like in our first year. It was in our first year.
Still learning our lessons.
Not only did I get mad, but I slapped him, and then we both ended up crying, and he felt bad later on because he realized that in the moment that probably wasn't the best thing to do as a husband.
Although it was innocent.
Although it was innocent, he says that, and so that was that. So now I can look back at it and I'm like, what a freaking fool, but it happened and it was funny to me.
Real funny.
Any more questions? Right now at church, we have a topic called relationship goals, and it's going to be a series, and we felt like this would be a really good topic to bring into our YouTube channel.
In church, we're talking about there's 4 things, right, that every couple should strive for. It's not for just having happiness, So Pastor had said, if your goal of being married is just to be happy, then it's not going to be a fulfilling marriage.
Right. It's actually to be united.
Yes, united. And then from that, happiness should flow. But so we want to be Christ.
Happiness could flow.
Could flow.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be happy, but that should be the part of the end result.
Right.
But Christ-centered, mission-driven, devil-kicking, and covenant-keeping. So those are the 4 things.
Good job that you remembered that.
Of course. With that, there's a couple questions that we wanted to... So with the funniest fight that we ever had, that kind of goes along with one of the questions is, what is something that has been divisive in your marriage? And so fights, whether they're small or big, they can come and be divisive between you. So the devil's goal is always to steal, kill, and destroy. And so what God has put together to try to take apart. And so whether that's a fight, or whether that's not being on the same page with how you're going to raise your kids,
right,
or just what mission or vision you have as a couple or as a marriage. One of the things that I think can be divisive in our marriage is I sometimes can take things that she says a little more to heart than what she means it, and Christine can be very dramatic. Ta-da! I feel sometimes she's taking things that are so small and making them huge. And so to me, that seems to get under my skin a little more and makes me maybe not respond in the way that I always should. And so we've been working on that.
Answering the same question, I think Zach is very confident. He always thinks that he's right. I mean, he knows everything about everything. And I'm not just saying that because that's really annoying even for me to say, but you can bring up any topic in life and he probably knows something about it, which is cool. He read a lot of history books or the dictionary in his free time when he was little. I don't really know. and he has a really great memory, but he knows everything. So that falls into the fact that when we are arguing, or even when we're talking about little things, it is crazy to have a person who always thinks or knows that they're always right. So that leaves me in a situation where either I feel dumb because I don't know enough about a topic, I don't know anything about a topic, or I might actually know more about that topic, but he's so used to being right or thinking that he knows everything about it that it just makes me angry. So I find that there is this, like, I always call him like a rooster, like he's always, his chest is out and his head is big and he's just like whatever. I'm like,
born with a big head.
Can you just like notch it down? Can you not always have to be right? Can you just sometimes, just for the sake of what we're talking about, just be like, yeah,
just pretend I don't know.
I don't know. If you know him in person, you know what I mean.
Those are a couple things that can be divisive, but how do we work through that, or how do we manage that in our marriage?
Okay, so we can talk about relationship stuff all we want all day long and give you all these great tips, but at the end of the day, what truly makes Zach and I get along so well and have this relationship that's gonna last forever is that we put God first. And that is through and through the most important thing that we could just stress. There are many things that irritate me in our relationship, and I'm sure that irritate him with me. But over time, my relationship with God has gotten stronger, and I look to him as being like, okay, you are my father, and I have a husband that's so amazing. You gave him to me, and I'm going to give him some grace here. So maybe I need to hold my tongue. Maybe I need to say something that's on my heart and maybe use it a different way. Maybe we just need to have certain communication or conversation that's different than what we are having. So we work through all of these things by being really prayerful and by putting God first in what we're doing, and just always being really mindful of, again, the big picture in life instead of it just being this one thing that we're arguing with at that moment.
Would you like to say something?
No,
No? Okay.
my movie stopped.
So, like Christine said about being Christ-centered or putting God first. So one of the things we always said from day one is that, we were going to pray together. Try to pray every day with each other. I mean, there's days we miss, but just having an attitude of prayer and building a relationship on that. And so in doing
or praying for each other. Even when you're really mad, like there's been times where we don't pray together because there might have been something that we were really upset about, but at the same time, we decided that we were going to pray for each other. Like I always love him, and I always know that no matter what we're going through, what we've been through, that I still love him and that I need to still pray for him, because at the end of the day, I can't change him. It's going to be God who changes him, and I can't force these things to happen on my own. So I know that if it's the same thing that's reoccurring, the enemy is probably behind all of this and is really trying to break us up. I'm just going to keep on praying to God that he change both of our hearts on whatever that topic or situation is, that he softens our hearts towards each other, and that when the time is right, that we are able to talk with each other. Next question. What are things that you love and hate? What are your passions?
So there's nothing that can bring people together in life, whether you're couples or not, more than having the same mission, whether it's fighting for something or fighting against something. People that maybe would not be friends or would not even associate with each other, when they are fighting for a common cause, it's an act of unity, and it can help drive people together. And same is true for if you're fighting against a common cause that maybe you both disagree with. That can really bring people together more so than anything else.
Yeah.
And so it's important in a relationship, a marriage in particularly, to have a common goal, have a mission, whether that's fighting for something or fighting against something.
So what do you love and what do you hate?
So one
So
thing.
answer the question.
I'm going to. I'm just explaining why it matters.
Okay.
Like, why does it even matter? And so, one thing that I think we both love is seeing relationships and marriages grow stronger.
And that's saying a lot. When I really thought about that, I came up with the same answer too. Because
that's what we love. Drives us together.
But that's wild. But yeah.
And which is why we started this YouTube channel, is because we really feel on our heart that we want to help couples become stronger. Because like my shirt says, life is better together. It's not just a saying, but when you're better together as a couple, as you can do more in this world as two united as one than as one doing something on their own. And so that's something that we love. And kind of alongside that, something we hate is people in pain, just in pain relationally. And particularly, obviously we don't like pain in general, but when someone, a couple is, one spouse or one person or another in a relationship isn't fulfilled, there's pain there. When a relationship breaks up and there's children that now have to deal with a broken family, there's pain there. And so that's things that we hate. And so if we can come together on that common mission to build stronger relationships, it will help avoid some of that. Why does any of this matter? Why does it matter if you know what causes strife and what causes division in your relationship? Mm-hmm. Why does it matter what your funny fight is? Or why does it matter any of this stuff? Really, the only point is that you find what the devil is trying to use to separate you, and you put Christ first, so that way you can find a way to stay together and to be strong. The goal of a marriage is not to be just happy, it's to be unified. And so to be unified, if you have a common mission, a common goal, a common purpose, you can come together around that to fight against something or to fight for something. Right. And in doing so, you can draw yourself closer together. God will draw you closer together as you're accomplishing things for his goal and his mission. And so whether you're married or not, it's the same thing. And so, Pastor said today that be the person that the person you're looking for is looking for. Mm-hmm. So if you're not married, you should try to be the person that you want is looking for. And so in doing that, that's finding what your mission is, what your goal is, and working towards that.
So we really enjoyed this message, and if you want to be able to hear our pastor and how he talked on this second part of relationship goals, I'm going to link below that message so that you can go ahead and watch that, because obviously that was like 35 minutes of him giving a really good sermon, and this is our very shortened version of that. From New York,
peace.
See ya.